'cause it's the God that I serve, God that I serve. I don't deserve your love.
I fully don't have my glasses on, so I hope I don't look crazy because I cannot see what's going on. It's the life of a queen. Welcome back, Royals. It's your girl Queen Persis. In this video, I will be sharing my stats because a subscriber asked me to share my stats, so here I am. By the way, if you have any requests for any types of videos you want me to see, just drop it in the comment section because I just tend to do videos that people ask for. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my grades, my AP scores, SAT subject test scores, SAT scores, ACT scores, my GPA, class ranking, anything that has to do with numbers, I'm sharing it. If there's anything that I'm forgetting or missing, drop it in the comment section and I'm gonna reply with what that number is. Not only will I be sharing my stats, but also giving you guys advice about how you can achieve those types of stats in your life. Okay, so let's move on to testing. I did take the ACT and the SAT. I took the SAT. I also took the SAT subject test. For the SATs and the SAT subject test, I took those twice, and for the ACTs, I took that 3 times. All I did to get those waivers is I literally just asked my counselor, like, hey, can I have a waiver? A lot of schools have a set amount that they have, and so some people. In terms of my ACT, I took my first ACT in the spring of my junior year and I got a 32 composite score. Then I took it the summer before senior year, I got a 32, and then I took it the fall of my senior year and I got a 32. However, each time that I took it, like, my scores were like different. So like, I think one time I took it and my math score was like a 35. Next time I took it, my math score was a 32. I think I took English. For 2 times that I took English, my score was a 35. So when it comes to the reporting the ACT and also the SATs, you're able to do something called super score. So super score allows you to take the highest grade that you got for each sort of division of that test and then add it to get a different composite score. So I was able to take like the 35 I got on the math section from one testing date and add it to the 32 I got from science on a different testing date. And because of that, my super score, ACT score, was a 33, and that's what I reported to colleges. When it came to the PSATs, I took the PSAT sophomore year and I got a 1300, not studying at all. And then I took the Okay, why is this not charging? All this time it's not charging. Okay. Why? For some reason, I'm not comprehending this. So the first time I took my SATs was the spring of my junior year, and I got a 1420, a 700 on something and a 720 on something. Then I took it the summer before senior year and I got a 1460. So I got a 720 and a 740. And then for my SAT subject scores, the first time I took my SAT subject scores was the spring junior year. I got a 630 in math, 710 in bio, and 710 in literature. And then I took it a second time my fall senior year and got 720 math, 700 bio, and 660 literature. And so with these scores, with my SAT subject scores, the same thing. I was able to do a super score and just like take the highest score from each different testing date. And something to be conscious about is that a college can see how many times you took a test. So they'll be able to see that I took the SAT subject test twice and I took my ACTs 3 times. So just be aware of that. So don't go take a test 4 or 5 times. Like the max that I think you should do is 2. I think a 3 is a stretch. But the only reason I took my ACTs 3 times is because I was in a program and they made me do it 3 times. Otherwise, I just would not recommend doing it 3 times. When it came to studying for my ACTs, I just want to be honest and transparent and say that I did take a prep class. I took the Princeton Review in-person SAT class, and so I think that, yeah, that's like a couple $100, and I thought that was like helpful. I am already like well versed when it came to the material on the exams. However, I just wanted like to know like more so strategy, and so the Princeton Review, like they had a lot of great strategy. If you can't afford the price tag, I think low-key what might be better, what's actually a better bang for your buck, is the self-pace option that Princeton Review offers. It's like, well, I think $100 or whatever, and it allows you to have like 6 months access to all their like literally like 300 videos where they their video library when it comes to like ACT and SAT. Plus, I do recommend getting the Princeton Review SAT books. I think they're like $12 per book, and they are just so filled with great information, and they're really affordable, so I recommend you do that. So yes, I did take the class. I did take the class before my first SAT, and then they actually allow you to take the test. They actually allow you to take the class twice for free. So I did take that. I was like, okay, why not? It's free. So I took the class again. Since I took the class a second time and I was already happy with my 1420, like I thought a 1420 was a good score, so I didn't really care to I didn't really care to do the most. So that's why I only improved like 40 points, because I just wasn't going ham. Like I was fine just being in the 1400s. And then when it came to the ACTs, I did do a summer program called Leadership Enterprise for a Diverse America. And so with that summer program, they actually gave us test prep, free test prep with the company called Advantage Test Prep. That's like, that price is like, I think it's like a couple $100 per hour, but we did it with like a group class. And like I said, like I really wasn't, I mean, I did pay attention and try to learn my hardest, but like I was already happy with my 32 on my ACT that I got before doing that summer program. And so I wasn't really like conscious of like, I don't know, trying to get a 36 or whatever. Like I was already fine with my scores. And so that's why you didn't see much improvement in that. In terms of doing well on the SAT, ACT, like I can't lie, like obviously you guys saw that on my PSATs I had a really high score. So what really helped me was I took the SAT every weekend. Like every weekend for, I don't know, maybe 2 months I was taking the SATs. So for people who have test taking anxiety, if you take the test every weekend, it helps you become more familiar with the test. And also I spent 1 or 2 months in the library just like studying for all of my exams. I made sure to use the test prep books that I got, the Princeton Review books that you can actually buy yourself. And also with the program that I bought, I had access to entire like video libraries, and so I utilized that sometimes, and that was super helpful. And as I said, you can access that video library that I use for like $150, and you have access to it for like 6 months. And maybe you could do your subscription with a friend and like share that price tag. But I do also, guys, can you see that I don't have my glasses? Like I could barely see what's going on. But I do want to also add that when it came to class rank, my school doesn't report class rank, so it's just more so like internal. Like we just don't do anything really involving class rank. However, I was in the top 2% of my school. My class size was 400 people, and I was in the top 2%. So I think I was like number 7 or whatever by junior year. And so that's that. I just want to say that I hope the little advice that I offered in between like sharing my scores was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the description box. And I don't want to be like the number doesn't define you, your scores don't define you, because I think that's cheesy or whatever. It is true, of course, but it is important to do well every chance you get. Like when it comes to these Ivy League schools, I think the number is like 86% of the people whom apply to Harvard or are academically qualified. So you definitely want to be academically qualified. And also, like, when it comes to like looking like grades and stuff like that, like obviously the admissions officers like look at it just to make sure that like you hit whatever marker, so yeah, it's good to make sure that you hit the specific marker, but if you didn't have good grades, try and go ham and get awesome recommendations and have an awesome personal statement. Like that can perhaps be beneficial to you. And I want to say that when it comes to your goals for grades, like just don't have unrealistic things. Like, yes, we all want to have perfect scores, but the amount of people who have perfect scores is like 2% of the population. For me, when it came to my SATs, anything above a 1400 was great. For my ACTs, anything above a 300 was great. For my SAT subject test, anything above a 700 was awesome for me. And I also understand that I am a Black person, and when it comes to I'm recording a video. And when it comes to Black students who take the SATs, I think the average number of Black students I think the average score of Black students who take the SATs is like a 900 out of the 1600. So already I was like, yo, like if the average number of Black people get a 900 and I have a 1400, of course, like I'm gonna be better than my competitors. So that's why I was like fine with not having a perfect score. All right, so that is it. Hope that was helpful. Share with a friend, and I'm gonna see you later.
Pray, Lord, help me, please. I'm on my knees like a crawl space. I can get all I need from the breeze when I start gaze. We gon' testify, we gon' testify all day. We gon' testify, we gon' testify always.